In this first class, we want to provide an overview of some of the foundational concepts that support blended course design. Some of you might have encountered these ideas in other course design sessions, but for others, it might be 100% new. Either way, we want to cover the core ideas so that you can begin to build your own blended learning modules. When the concepts are complex, we'll refer you to other resources to go into more depth. So let's start by exploring how synchronous and asynchronous approaches come together to create a blended learning experience. What is blended learning? The COVID-19 pandemic forced a huge experiment in emergency and remote teaching and learning. Instructors and students found themselves using tools and techniques that they never would have imagined themselves using before. Now that we're moving into a hopefully more face-to-face interaction with our students, we have an opportunity to carry forward some of those tools and experiences and mix it with face-to-face engagement, which would be blended learning or a planned blend, a blend that is intentional and purposeful. Our goal today is to understand the key concepts behind a planned blend. There are two traditional content delivery modes. The first is synchronous, or traditionally in person, students and instructors in a classroom together. The next is asynchronous, which is work that is traditionally completed outside of class. You might think of it as homework. Blended learning combines the best of both, asking students to complete work outside of class prior to coming to class to free up in-class time for both engagement and application. The blended classroom is the perfect marriage of synchronous and asynchronous learning. It provides an opportunity for active and engaged learning in live sessions because we freed up class time. The key to effective blended learning is backwards design, or starting with the end in mind. Backwards design is a framework from educational theorists that encourage instructors to begin planning their course not with content, but rather with their learning goals. Where do you want students to be at the end of your course? What would you hope that they'd be able to know, value, or do in the next 14 to 16 weeks? Once you've articulated your learning goals, you can then think through assignments and assessments that will help you determine if students got it. Once you've articulated your learning goals, you can then plan activities that help students achieve them. This is a concept that educational theorists refer to as scaffolding. There are three primary types of activities in blended learning. Pre-class activities, things that you ask students to do before coming to class. In-class activities, that asks students to engage with or apply the content that they've completed. And finally, post-class, which gives students an opportunity to reflect on the content that they've covered, the application that they've engaged in, and make connections between both the asynchronous and synchronous content, as well as between class sessions. There are lots of types of asynchronous activities. One of the most common is online reading. We've certainly all done reading as homework before. But there are other opportunities for you to engage students pre-class that might be a little bit more active. Discussions are by and large the most popular way to get students to engage with each other, with you, and with the content before coming to a live class session. You might also record lecture videos that you ask students to watch before coming to class. This is a very popular option when it comes to blended learning because instructors have an opportunity to include lectures or record lectures that clear up muddy points or perhaps talk through particularly challenging concepts that you think students might have a little bit trouble understanding on their own.